Well, good morning. Welcome to our Friday morning trading room. Another work. All right, let's get the show on the road. Okay, it looks okay. You should be able to see my screen. Please let me know if you're having any audio or video difficulty. NASDAQ here off to a very, very quick start right out of the open. Let's take a look at this. The opening buzzer, boom, the market falling right out of bed. Yesterday, very, very neutral day. Let's take a look here at the daily chart that kind of gives us a pretty good overview. This bar right here was yesterday's session. We had some decent moves higher and lower, but for the most part, the market not going anywhere. And this bar here actually including the overnight session. So you can see we rallied up through the overnight, but we're opening up here. So relative to where we left off, there's actually going to be a little bit of a downside gap, which is probably why we're seeing the market doing this quick reverse out of the open. Overall, however, we're still kind of stuck around the 67 zone, 6,700. We're currently trading around 6,750, but we haven't really migrated too far. It's not that we can say we have a new trend developing. All right, well, it is opening range. I will try to give the traders some time to sort things out. See if we do get something resembling a trend. Opening range is always kind of tricky, especially on a Friday. Friday is either one of those days where the market just kind of moves back and forth all day, or it's the kind of day where traders get busy early and they want to get everything done so that they can do their paperwork and leave the office, which always sounds like a good idea on a Friday. All right, well, we'll let them sort things out after that quick little move lower. We're kind of hit that little bit of a sideways skid, so too early to call this a trend. This, of course, the eagle. And you can see here from the Asian session, actually fairly active last night. The European session, a little choppier, and a little bit of a rally going into the open, and now this quick little decline, kind of bringing us back to where the European traders spent much of the evening. Yeah, Mark, I hear you. Mark says, I used to hate the paperwork when I was a stockbroker. Yes, no shortage of paperwork. Get her done so you can go home. All right. We're kind of conflicted across the board here, except the Raptor is giving us an early signal here, a number 2 signal. You know, I'm not keen on these early signals, but we'll see if I get a second push opportunity. Or maybe I'm just going to be too late on this. As we move back here toward the hard edge, what I would be looking for is a reversal bar, something that I can use as a second push opportunity. But of course, I don't want the market going too far. So we had the double bottom, the double reversal signal, the back-to-back number 2 signals. Normally there's a 3 signal in between here. We get the 2-3-2 signal. Okay, there's my reverse bar. I think I would prefer to see 2 reverse bars. Oh, they're not going to give it to me. I waited too long. All right, let's throw the order in here. And I'm going to stretch my profit target just a little bit. And I'm going to throw my exit order down here just to keep it out of the way. And here yet another number 2 signal. So you can see we're producing several buy signals. We may actually be getting a rule of 3 signal on the eagle. Let me take a quick look. No, not quite. Not quite yet. All right, I'm going to close this order out now. It's not quite behaving the way it should. Actually, I think what I'm going to try, I'm going to play here with my trade calculator a little bit. And I'm going to adjust my stop distance for my stop orders. I'm going to try making it a little bit wider. Because with the stop order, you see what I can do with the stop order. Now, to change your order, you're going to hover over your buy or sell buttons. Don't click them, just hover. And then turn the wheel, and you can see it changes your order type. So you can select from a limit order, a market order, or a stop order. Okay, so what this does is it allows me to place the order, and then I can actually bring it into where I want it to be. So yet another number 2 signal. All right, got the fill. Let's see now if this holds. These lows are going to hold. Bring my stop up to that last swing. This is a little bit early. You know, I might be better off waiting for a number 1 signal to form. But I'm hoping for just a quick little hit and run type trade. Come on, don't flinch yet. Come on, get up there. You can do it. So what I'm going to look for now is a couple of bull bars, a couple of rally bars, just to show me that the buyers are coming back into the market. And then I'm going to try to roll my stops accordingly. All right, there we go. Now, ideally, I'd normally leave my stops 2 swings back, but because the market is relatively neutral, and this is very early in the day. Oh, they're going to tag me. Yeah, they're going to tap me out here. Stinkers. All right. Well, it was an early attempt. I was kind of asking for it. All right, let's put that away. The market may be trying to get back into that gap now that we were talking about, that early morning gap. Let's see, here's a little bit of a bear flag type setup. Okay, we're going to get an early #1 signal here on the Raptor as the clouds come back into sync on the short side, if they come back into sync on the short side. Okay, maybe not. We got this crazy little sideways range thing going on. I must be missing something here with the NinjaTrader 8 that I can't set my defaults the way I want them on the shading of my rectangles. Okay, so I'm going to call that a sideways trading range. Now, with the sideways trading range, it's a lot of times advisable to allow the market to break out. Ooh, although here we come back with a short signal. Yeah, and there's that #1 signal that I was just talking about. All right. It didn't work to the buy side, so I'm going to take a look at shorting, and I'm going to use this low right here. Or if I get a second push opportunity, namely the market, there we go, there's one bar, give me a second bar. I better get this stop out of the way. Okay, there's the second bar. So I'm going to use this bar now as my second push opportunity to short. Yeah, Mark says the support and resistance line is holding nicely. I think it also has something to do with the fact that it's around 67.50. That's kind of an even number. Traders like to gravitate toward even numbers. I don't like the way the band is running so very horizontal. And you see how it's twisting up almost like a rope? Okay, if it trades any higher from here, I'm going to scrub my order. All right, let's close all that out. Tough to get a little bit of a bearing on the market here this morning. All right, if this in fact was my sideways trading range, this now the bullish break. And I'm going to be looking for the retest of this range. Hopefully I get at least one bear bar, ideally two bearish bars. Or maybe they're just going to run away without me. That's happened before. Hey, way to go, Dan. Dan says he took the same trade that I did earlier, but he left his stop two swings back and was able to eke out a 25 tick profit. Nicely done. You know, um, the reason I normally leave my stops two swings back is because the markets will challenge the last swing. They will always challenge the last swing high or the last swing low. It's very unlikely they will challenge the second swing. Oops, I think the market's kind of making its move now. Oh, no, I still just have the one bar. Come on, there we go. I only have the one bear bar. Ideally, I like to see two because two bear bars will kind of confirm that we have a temporary top. You see, one bear bar isn't always enough to hold the market. You get a little bit of a uptick. Sometimes that can get you in too early. We do have another buy signal here, which would make for a nice second push opportunity. The filter is starting to get a lot greener, suggesting, again, there's more buying going on. let's see. Paul says, I just placed a long and the market came down to my stop and filled a short. Okay, are you using the trade calculator, Paul? Because the thing to remember with the trade calculator is that when you place your orders, so let's say look to place an order here now, all these orders are live. So if the market comes down here now and hits this order, it will fill a short. Otherwise, are you sure you hit the buy button? I've done that, thinking I was buying and I actually hit the sell button. Still waiting for my retest. And I don't think I'm going to get it. Look at that, you stinkers. Oh well, the good news is we may have a trend now in play. Okay. Well, here now, it's a little bit late. The market kind of making that quick little move up. We're retesting the high, but you could put your just in case order to buy in here as the market comes down, tries to retest this trading zone. Okay, well, here we are retesting the breakout finally. Yeah, Dan says nice rule of 3 on the Eagle. We actually had a few signals working out here. This rule of 3, 1, 2, 3 counter trend signals kind of snuck in there because this was a quick little downtrend. Remember, with any counter trend signal, you first want to be able to identify a trend. because without a trend, these signals will still develop, but you may end up being in a chop zone. Okay, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive on this, and I'm going to bracket the retest. So now if the retest fails here on the Eagle, I will look to short. This is a much more aggressive type setup because I'm anticipating that the failure to move the market higher will move the market lower rather than just send the market sideways. And like I said, that's a little riskier. We do have a hard edge bounce signal. If you wanted to get in here a little bit earlier, that's going to coincide actually with the number 3 signal that we're looking at. The Falcon and the Hawk, at least right now, kind of stalemated. The Hawk working a possible first micro macro cross as the micro macro lines are starting to cross over, so that's going to be the first signal you're going to anticipate there. The Falcon, now that the trend line has changed color, we're going to anticipate a trend change signal. I just hope if the market continues higher from here, I don't get filled on a one tick trend, which is always dangerous. All right, here we go. So we got filled on that breakout, the continuation move. And here we are challenging the highs du jour. And if we can get above that, there is a chance we're going to see a little bit more follow through. I should see where the next resistance zone is at. So up here to around 67.85-ish. So I'm going to throw in a profit order somewhere around here. Stop it. All right, they're going to make me flinch. I'm going to bring my stops up to break even because I'm a chicken. We're getting this reaction to the breakout here. The market should be heading higher after this kind of breakout, but they're not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to roll with each bar that has a tail on it. Well, I'm really tempted here to jam my stops up tighter still, protect a little bit more of this open profit, but we're due for a move. And we do have a bit of a bullish bent on the day. Boy, they're taking their time here. I don't think they're going to give it to me. They're just floundering too much. Typically, when you see the market break a significant resistance area, there tends to be some follow through as it encourages more buying. Sellers that sold up here tend to get out of their positions, and it tends to give the market a little bit of a push. But okay, there we go. Can roll that up a little bit more. Of course, it never hurts to give it a push with your mouse. Get up there. Come on, get going. They're thinking about it. There we go. You can see we have hit our high probability profit objective. We're trading over the $200 mark, and that's what would be the high probability target for our Eagle trade. Just trying to sneak a couple more dollars out of here. And all I'm doing at this point is rolling bar for bar anything that has a tail to it. As we hopefully get up to that next resistance line around 67.85. I'm going to put the squeeze on it now. Come on, you can do it. Get up there. All right, well, maybe I squeezed it a little bit too hard, but you know what? We were starting to get up in that profit zone where I start to squirm in my seat a little bit. And don't forget, we did have a rather substantial move higher here. So we don't want to be too greedy. All right, well, that worked out okay. At the same time, we did have, comparable signals across the board here with the hawk. That first micro macro cross signal we were anticipating, exceptional follow through on that signal. The trend change signal here in the Falcon came a little bit late. Actually this is odd. It doesn't normally work this way. But in this case, we did get the trend change signal a little bit late. Still got up high enough to find your high probability target though. The eagle, of course, we did, and the Raptor producing the hard edge bounce the same time the eagle produced the hard edge buy signal. And subsequent signals here as well. But all of those also making their way higher. And it looks like we may push on through to that 67.85-ish zone. All right, and here we are now just below that secondary resistance zone. All right, so it looks like the market flinching a little bit early as we approach the secondary resistance zone, which was where my profit target was going to be before I got stopped out a little bit early. When you're looking at profit objectives, support and resistance lines make a great profit target. Very often what will happen is when a market will breach one of the blue lines, so let me just go through the assortment here. The gold line is your median line. That simply tells you that this is kind of it's the middle of your support and resistance assortment. Generally speaking, if the market is trading above the gold line, it will tend to be more bullish. If it's trading below the gold line, it's going to tend to be more bearish. The blue lines above and below are primary resistance and primary support. As a rule of thumb, these three lines right here tend to be the most influential. They kind of set the tone for the day. So when the market is above the gold line, it's going to tend to be more bullish. Below the gold line, it tends to be more bearish. If it breaks the primary resistance line or the primary support line, the market will have a tendency to move two zones. So there's zone 1, there's zone 2. That gives you the ability to look at this and say, oh, okay, I think the market is bullish today. I'm going to set my profit target. I can set a profit target here at zone 1 and or I can set a profit target at zone 2, knowing there will be a tendency for the market to move those two zones. Likewise, if we broke here to the short side, the market would tend to move zone 1 and zone 2. Now, if we break below the primary resistance line again, we can actually use the same kind of principle, except in this case, I would use that as zone 1. Stop it. And this would be zone 2. So if we happen to break the primary support and you're looking for a trade, you're swinging for the fences, I would anticipate the market to move down here to the primary support zone. So just a little rule of thumb to tuck away in the back of your mind. Of course, it doesn't happen that way all the time. Sometimes it will only move one zone, but more often than not, you will see the market move those two zones. Okay, now that we've hit the resistance zone, we're getting a little bit more of a reaction, and I don't know if that's going to send the market lower at this point. I can see a little bit of a pullback trying to develop, which is, again, just the way the market works. You'll get these runs, and then you'll get the market pausing or pulling back. All right, well, the trading band here, the band counter, we're a little bit broad. It's at 49 ticks now. Got up to, it looks like, around 52. All right. Yeah, Mark, I was watching this late filter entry signal here as well. Mark says late filter entry fake out or second entry. I'm getting a little bit of a pullback now. And actually, a counter trend signal, a number 2 signal here on the Raptor, which is kind of opening up the possibility of a counter trend move. Well, good morning, Scott. Scott says, after a talk with Mark, I put the eagle on the same chart as the falcon. I call it the feagle. Sure. We were always talking about having one of the birds do one called the chicken. Yeah, Mark, it might be. Mark makes a comment here. Interesting. You had a move up after that late filter entry on Ninja 8. I didn't on Ninja 7. Again, on Ninja 8 here, I'm running the mean Renko bars version 2.0, and they should be the almost identical to the regular mean Renkos. But every once in a while, you'll get a slight little difference. And data feeds too. You have to account for the data. All right, the number 2 signal here that I was hemming and hawing on did make a nice move lower, finding its target here at the hard edge. Now we should anticipate a little bit of a push up from here. Yes, Scott's asking, don't you have a Roadrunner bird? Yes, we do. The Roadrunner is actually, we could focus on the Roadrunner one day. I'll show it to everyone. It's a more designed for the currency markets, for the forex markets. Now, I'm going to have some Raptor traders in the room saying, what? I can't trade the Raptor on the currency markets? No, yes, of course you can. The Roadrunner is more of a stripped down version, if that makes any sense. It doesn't have all the features that the Raptor or the DTS birds have. But yes, the Roadrunner is a kind of a quick and dirty signal generator, and it can provide some very reliable entry signals as well. All right, so now that we're back here to the hard edge, getting a bit of a bounce up. Yeah, like Vince says, it's more streamlined. The Roadrunner is. And yeah, Mark says, time to come out with the vulture and dominate the markets. Yes, we've had some interesting backroom conversation about bird names. All right, well, we got a first micro macro cross signal lower. No follow through on that. We're kind of bumping around a little bit. It's not to say this first micro macro cross signal isn't valid. Stops would need to go very, very high, though. Stops would need to go above these highs. And we're coming back with perhaps a green bar sell now. I'm going to wait for something a little bit more definitive before I try to get on board. We've got a number 3 signal now here on the Raptor. But because of this deep pullback, you see how we've broken that swing low? I think I'm going to hold out for a second push opportunity. And what you could do is you could throw a just in case order below there. The logic is very similar to what we were just looking at on the Eagle when we were trading our little sideways trading range back here. Where we had the breakout, the retest, and at that time I set an order to buy up here and I set an order to sell down here. The logic is the same. If the breakout does not continue higher, it will have to continue lower. Very, very teeny tiny trading range. We've seen the breakout lower. This now the retest. If the breakout does not continue lower, then it will have to continue higher. Well, sorry, it doesn't have to continue higher. It could end up just going sideways. But if it continues lower, it will have to take out this low. So there's my just in case order to short. Here now I have a number 3 signal. So I could throw my buy order in above here. So I had the number 3 signal. I had 2 bars against it. That kind of gives me my second push opportunity. Not the best looking trade. You know what, Scott? I wouldn't be surprised if you're right. Scott makes a comment here. I like the longs on Fridays. I wish I could see long or short days by the days of the week, but I bet Fridays are more long. Now, you can actually, I'm not going to take the time to do it here, but you can identify. There used to be a way that you could identify not the day of the week, but you could set a line every fifth day, which would essentially give you every Friday or every Tuesday or whatever. But it makes sense. A lot of times the market, psychologically anyways, wants to get bullish going into the weekend. You want to keep your stockholders happy, your shareholders. Oh, come on. Just kissing the target here. I'm going to bring up my stops now to the break even. No, didn't give it to me. Okay, I'm going to put my just in case order back. In case the bottom falls out of the market now, in case this becomes a double top. We will see if this double top is going to hold. We will see a test of the extreme and a number 2 signal develop here on the Raptor. Had a first micro macro cross signal here on the Hawk. Had a little bit of giddy up. There's some serious chop going on though. My goodness, we're back and forth here this morning. Still in the black though. That's a good thing. In spite of the early stinker. All right, quick little move lower. Another hard edge bounce here on the Eagle. The Hawk waffling a bit, but we're going to get, right there, we got our first micro macro cross to short. Wow. Crazy sideways trading range developing. We just can't seem to get the market to sync up. Yeah, Mark says coil and release, rinse and repeat. That's pretty much what's going on here. You can see we're kind of winding up again. Got another hard edge bounce, which this one should have had more follow through to it. The fact that it stalled almost opens up the possibility of a move lower. Here we now with a number one signal. Depends how aggressive you want to be on this market. Do you want to take a chance that the rally will hold? I think it, advisable to maybe, if you're looking to buy this, wait for the second push opportunity. I don't know. It's these sideways markets, they keep you guessing, and that's what they're doing. Mark, yes, Mark's asking, does the Geiger counter work in Ninja 8? I've got to load a few more of the tools into Ninja 8, but yes, it does. Hmm. Well, that number one signal had much better follow through than I thought it was going to have. I have to say. All right, you know what? If I get give me another bear bar here, and I'm going to bracket this. All right, I've got this market bracketed now. A move higher after this retest should see the market continue higher. Uh, this retest, if it holds, will lead to a number two signal and another opportunity to short. So you can see we're producing a first micro macro cross here to buy. All I'm doing is bracketing this range now. All right, well, words of wisdom here from Scott. Scott says, Mark is too profitable to move from Ninja 7 to Ninja 8. I wouldn't even change my keyboard. That's right. If it works, don't fix it. You got your lucky keyboard, you got your lucky mouse. Don't change any of that. All right, here they go. They're going to make a push. We've got now the trend change signal in the Falcon. We've got the first micro macro cross again here in the Hawk. Don't quite have a hard edge bounce here on the Raptor. And we're kind of toying with the top end of the trading range on the Eagle. Yes, Scott's right. What a snoozer day. Well, we'll hang with it for a little while longer here. If we don't see the breakout, then we'll just call it a day. All right, here we go. Let's see if we get that follow through. So like I say, we have a trend change signal here on the Falcon, and we're getting some follow through now. Okay, I'll manage this from the Raptor. I'll bring my stop up here a little bit to the hard edge. Getting that quick little reaction, which I hate. Come on. Well, I'm not liking the quick little pullback here after the break. It's the problem with trading ranges. I'm trying to trade the breakout. I thought for sure we would see a little bit more bullish momentum after that breakout. If I can get a couple of bullish bars in my favor, I will be fairly quick to roll my stop up. Come on. I'll set a profit order here near 6,800 just because it's a round number. Try to give my trade a little bit more room here. All right, so I've got a couple of bullish bars now. This is do or die for the buyers. They've got to keep rallying the market at this point. They need to take out this high or the market will fail and reverse. So as we get closer, if we get closer to this swing high, I'm going to roll my stops up even more. Hopefully even get them to break even. And if they hesitate much more, I'm just going to take it to break even anyway. All right, there we go. They got to go now. Get up there. Get going. All right. Well, they apparently were not ready to move just yet. Kind of seems to be the theme here today. when I look at a chart like this and I see a big leg up and then a smaller leg, potentially another smaller leg, it's almost like you can see the momentum starting to drain out of the market. That's why I said sometimes it's fun to draw lines across the highs because you can see the momentum starting to shift. Likewise, here across the lows, it makes it much more obvious that the momentum is changing. Well, now that we've had the breakout, you could put your just in case order to buy up here, although I suspect a move lower may be in order. We're going to produce maybe a number 2 signal here on the Raptor. The Falcon working a late filter entry signal. The next sell signal here on the Raptor will be a number 2 signal, and you know what? I'm going to show that, and that will be how we're going to finish the day today. Okay, so there's the warning. Where is that? Oh, sorry, the signal actually printed right here. I couldn't see it for the bar color. So I'm going to wait now for a second push opportunity, which means I'm just going to allow the market to pull back here for a bar. All right, so it looks like it's going to be in this neighborhood. And we'll see if we don't get a quick little move lower. There is still the little bit of an opening range gap. And the potential for the market to move back down here toward the primary resistance all the way down to 6750 zone. Although I think anywhere near this resistance line around 67.66 would be a fantastic trade. All right, here now with the second push opportunity. We'll see if we get any follow through at all on this counter trend move. Mark, you could be absolutely right. You know, Ninja 8, there are some slight changes. Mark says there's a definite difference between Ninja 8 and 7 when it comes to printing some of the signals. I didn't get a late filter entry at the same point. Interesting, we were always in sync when it came to Ninja 7. Like I said, that's certainly possible. Well, hopefully I didn't get on board too early with my counter trend move here. Yep, see you, Scott. Scott's out of here. I think we're going to close things up here pretty quick. I'm going to try to nurse this trade down. Obviously, I've got this little bit of a trend line shooting here. If the market trades above here, it's going to make it suspect. I'm not going to exit right on the trend line, but rather if the market trades up here, I'm going to be on the alert for a couple of bars lower, and then I'm going to start rolling my stops much more aggressively, as that will be my cue that the sellers really have to pick up their game, or the buyers are going to keep rallying the market. Other than that, it does seem like it's going to be a back and forth kind of session. So be patient and have yourselves a great weekend. I will talk to you on Monday. We'll see you then. Bye for now.